distinguished guests, and most joyful in my heart, fellow Ethiopians. I seek that these words only be acceptable before exhaling. I am a man, a leader, a scholar, and an activist. I adhere to Rastafari under the teachings of His Majesty, His Imperial Majesty, Haile Selassie I. I've been privileged to hold the position as Vice Principal, Vice President for Reform the United Nations, and I'm here today to bring a message of urgency and hope. We are gathered here in London, the capital city of the United Kingdom. I need not tell you of the history of this country, of the empire, and of the Anglo and Ethiopian relationships throughout the centuries. It is a shared history, with highs and also with lows. We honour today the victory of Adwa, a legacy that helps us recognise the profound significance of our language. A thread that weaves ancient wisdom, faith, and an enduring spirit, not only of Ethiopia, but of the great continent of Africa, and more so for the power of good under the eyes of God. We must reflect on the lessons from history, from this battle, and we must consider the relevance of our present and our future. Today we see young, old. Some of us are further on the journey. The joy on the faces of the young people today, the children, the brightness, endorsing the spirit of Adwa. We must unify for power. As a people, as a family, as a community, as nations, and as mankind. The lesson of unity and collective action. Adwa united diverse Ethiopian tribes, transcended ethnic and regional differences. The leadership was the power. As Africans, we must recognise our strength that lies in standing together as we are today. We must foster a pan-African solidarity, supporting each other for struggles in justice, sovereignty, and our human rights. The victory of Adwa also reminds us of resilience, of courage in the face of adversity. Our forces faced immense odds, but they persevered, and unwavering determination and inspiration to overcome challenges. The lesson here is that in the face of external pressures, in economic exploitation, in political interference, we must remain steadfast and resilient. In terms of a historical narrative, be under no illusion the divisive powers that tried to infiltrate Ethiopia and Africa remain present today. Colonization has changed form. We're aware of geopolitical exercises of infiltration and destruction, and need not go into the details of this current hour. upon the globe. We must, as we are today, it's such a joy to see, as an individual born in the UK, from Jamaican heritage, and taking that journey through learning from elders, through adhering to Rastafari, to understand the true power of Ethiopia and the power it has for the continent. That narrative to be claimed and to be celebrated and to be taught from generation to generation, make sure that our narrative stays within our control. The lesson is just like His Imperial Majesty put forward. Education is the key. Younger members of the congregation, children, teenagers, youths. I've served as a teacher in this country for over 20 years. I understand the education system. I want to give you encouragement that as Ethiopians, your study ethics, your approach to studies are of excellence. May you continue to achieve, again, to be able to put forward our narrative. Now I'm going to move a little bit more closer to something more controversial. Ethiopia is a founding member of the United Nations. The United Nations hosts a large presence within Ethiopia. It's probably one of the largest globally, encompassing development for humanitarian assistance and also the very well-renowned peacekeeping efforts of Ethiopians. The United Nations country teams exist, an entity there to collaborate, to address various challenges, to promote sustainable development, to advocate for human rights. Developmental goals for who on a global stage? These specific entities, some of them probably up to a number of 38 separate entities within Ethiopia. But as we navigate the challenges as a people and upon the continent of Africa, it is to strengthen our collectivity that will take us forward. You see, somebody, despite the UN's existence, human rights atrocities persist. Ethiopia's recent and painful unrest between different tribal factions echoes a moral loss, a moral diversion from the spirit that we're seeing in today when we understand the true power of Adwa, of unity as a people. Are you with me? Thank you. A little bit more. Young ones, your elders have made sure that the legacy of Adwa is here for you to learn from. You must also be proud that you are part of the African diaspora. Because now, the battle that once took place inside Adwa now takes place upon the whole globe. Ethiopians are scattered over the globe, maybe for a divine reason yet to come. We remain steadfast. We embody the continual power of unity, but we must exercise it. Because the continuation of globalization is before our eyes. The veto power held by 5 of the top nuclear-armed countries. They are the bullies. For the younger ears, they are the bullies, the bad guys. To uphold peace, we need to see a removal of this veto. I've seen it already. Your phones. recording, sharing, communication. Communication back to Ethiopia, throughout our schools, our churches. We must gather as a people, understand the threat, and not be afraid to communicate amongst ourselves. Ultimately, this is a question of mankind. And current situations upon the earth place urgency, and this very well could be the last hope for mankind unless we remove the veto process and reform the United Nations to uphold a fairer moral compass for mankind. So in the spirit of Adwa, let us move forward. Give thanks. Kabir Lagzebia.